Okay, a little bit less coordination here from the Kongdoo fans, so see whether they get that one sorted out as we move into Oasis.
All right, here we go. Fletafara, Rascalfara, the duo here with Bedosian versus the duo with Jaehong. The Tracer battle on the ground will matter a lot, as that will set the pace for how much room these Faras have to work with as we set up on Oasis. This would not be possible without Fleta on the roster for Lunatic High.
Yep, sort of first time we've seen it on Oasis here, of course. Definitely going to be, as we didn't see Oasis in our last series, and was, of course, his first that he's played with this lineup. But Rascal has always been brilliant. That being said, Munchkin gonna start off with a bang, actually looking for his second here as Void continues to play fantastically as he takes down Miro, but trading Winstons, we'll see whether it works out for one team more than the other, as Fleta is already raining destruction. Cloud9 Kongdoo.
Quartermain gets picked here as well, so two great opening picks for Munchkin. Helps them win the longer fight here. Jaehong also building towards that res. And it's really cool, you know, Munchkin was out of the pro scene in Korea for that's one way to reset.
Yep, that was terrifying to be perfectly honest.
That's how it happens. But Munchkin was out of the Korean pro scene for a long time, but he played so many pro matches on Laser Kittens. He's always been a very coordinated tracer. So his lack of experience with Lunatic High, I think, is almost irrelevant with how well he's already shown. He can get those targets that have been called to him. He has so much pro gaming experience.
Also, you know, things like communication aren't really going to be a question mark, because even with language barriers, things like that can be as much of a problem as Munchkin is going to deliver a pulse bomb, but not actually find any joy with it. Quartermain continuing to jump around here at the top of the building. Point still going over to Lunatic High under relative control. Not too much of a pick, as there's the self-destruct, not going to find anything, and Munchkin just continuing to get around.
Kind of a Hail Mary self-destruct there. Looked like he wanted to try to knock the Pharmercy out of the sky, but relatively unsuccessful. We will see the res used early in this fight as well, as Munchkin's willing to 1v1 here, forcing the Mercy out of position.
Oh, real nice shot there from Birdring, trying to assert his dominance. As it was the Munchkin show for a little while, Birdring just wanted to remind him that he is the apex tracer player that you need to get on the level of, and going to continue as he takes down a Diva Mech for himself when we get the switch over, 77%.
So Jaehong is holding on to this res. He died early. It could have been a real game changer to actually pull that up to 99%, but still they're very happy with the ult lead they have, and also the lead in terms of control meter. Rascal finding a good angle here, but it looks like they're going to try to use Munchkin's opening pick here to try to get the kills. He does fail to get it, though, out of the launcher here.
Yeah, so incredibly close to getting down Bedosian, and that's going to be the sound barrier, making sure that that Mercy stays alive on the side of Cloud9 Kongdoo, but it doesn't seem to matter. We've got a rocket barrage that's going to take down Bedosian, but not actually get anything else here for Fleta. Thankfully, not going to sacrifice himself into a defense matrix or anything like that, and Lunatic High very quickly get their way back onto this point, flip that one right up, and we'll be heading towards very close to 90%.
Yeah.
And that's staggered kills as well coming out for Lunatic High.
They traded sound barriers, they used the self-destruct for safety, and also the remake, I think, was the main reason why Zumba used it there. Forced out Quartermain's sound barrier, killed Bedosian at 97%. That res could have been a game changer. Now they actually walk away with an ult advantage, and 99% is just around the corner. That res battle is going to be everything. Who gets the better trade of this could actually win this first map for Lunatic High.
Yeah, Rascal actually getting a bit of the runaround there as Fleta just dodging out of the way of these rockets. Toby able to get rid of Fisher, and this is one of the question marks that we've had for Cloud9 Kongdoo. Fisher has been diving very aggressively in recent weeks. And that's going to happen once again. Thankfully, Bedosian is there with the res, but he's going to sacrifice his own life for it. Jaehong's going to get up Toby once again. Void deals with Fleta, and Miro now as a big monkey, the Primal Rage coming in, seeing what he can do. We're in overtime, and Cloud9 at least do have about 3/4 of the way towards getting that flip. The Lunatic High, relatively low health bars, but everyone's still alive, and Zumba continuing to create space, gets rid of Quartermain. His front line's so powerful. Toby, once again, a fantastic sound barrier, as we're going to have another car accident.
Void's taken out of the mech here, just going to be ignored now with Birdring using his recall. I think this may just be the map. Rascal's back on the point, but taken out. Great barrage. He wants to eliminate Birdring as well.
That's fantastic. The cleanup, the perfect timing, getting rid of the Pilot Diva just so that that big body can't get back onto the point. They set themselves up to take down control in map 2. We'll see whether they're going to be able to finish this one off or whether Cloud9 is going to give us a series or a demonstration of a closer series.
History has shown between these two teams that Eska in the past with Zumba have really put a number on the Diva play of Void. It's not Eska tonight. He's not even in the stadium. It's actually Munchkin who's been able to, with the help of his teammates and with baited defense matrices, able to take Void out. We're seeing Fleta pan those defense matrices towards the sky. Munchkin gets an angle, D-Matrix on cooldown. Munchkin keeps getting these trades. Not only is he knocking Void out of these mechs, but he's using the mech to build pulse bombs. Really good execution here from Munchkin. And in game 1, in map 1, we're not even done with this game here. Munchkin's already showed us a clinic. Now this is his second best hero historically, especially on Rhino's Gaming Wings. Fantastic McCree. Let's see if he can make it happen here again. It's going to be the McCree battle.
Yeah, mirrored comps. Theoretically, as actually no Birdring. He's on the tracer this time, and Munchkin going to say why. To be perfectly honest, not going to be enough. You can see Munchkin free hitting, grabs another one with the help of Fleta there as Fisher is going to fall down, and that is going to spell the end, you have to say. Zumba gets Rascal off the edge. And now Mira just hunting people down. Lunatic High, this feels like their show right now as University is well and truly under control.
Okay, total dominance here. Great headshot by Munchkin at range there. Predicted the recall, was just in terms of reaction time a little bit off there, but still the headshot means that it didn't even matter at the end of the day. All right, so Rascal and crew going to try to sneak around here to dive onto Munchkin. Birdring's already down and defense matrix there. I don't think Munchkin's going to have any problems.
Oh, fantastic. Flank comes in as well as the barrier comes in. Miro, perfect timing this time. Fleta gets one pick. He's traded. Yeah, that's fine, but Void had to waste his time, and you can see it in the kill feed there. Lunatic Eye just cleaned it all the way back up.
When Jaehong got the kill into Birdring, nothing else mattered because when he died, they were able to kind of trick Cloud9 Kongdoo into a position where they showed Munchkin at the front. They said, come at me. They had Zumba hidden. Zumba protected Munchkin with the D-Matrix. Everyone got stuck in that choke point, and Doomfist is so happy with it. Fleta putting on a clinic again with this hero.
Mira hanging out in the cage here as Fleta dives all the way through. He's got the safety of the ultimate as he pops himself off the edge, wants to get back down into this fight. Doesn't actually find the kill on it as he gets himself back over, and he's so slippery. Okay, there's a pulse bomb. That's going to be that. You can't rocket punch your way out of that one.
He almost stuck the pulse bomb into Birdring. Birdring's going to die regardless.
No.
And that was, you said it so well, it was definitely, the reason why he committed so Hail Mary there was because he had the ult to fall back on. It was the safety measure, which then was turned into damage that allowed Lunatic High to win this fight. They are playing a great game here, and Fleta makes Miro's play, I think, a lot stronger. He's almost kind of like a support. He helps those who dive to try to punish him.
It's like the double dive coming in as well, and it means that he plays a little bit like a Tracer at the same time because he's causing the disruption. Munchkin looking for the Deadeye, actually finds one. No, it's actually Rascal that picks that one off. Fleta does trade for him as Jaehong's going to continue the murder and madness.
Has Munchkin been killed a single time this game? I don't think so. He is just doing so much damage. The headshots are immaculate. Look at this.
Another one. There's the flashbang. Jaehong finishes the kill up in the end.
Oh, hats off!
And we thought, okay, who are you stepping out? This could be a problem. Nope. Not the case, Wolf. Not the case at all. Munchkin hops in. We know him as the Tracer player. He's making himself look like a McCree player as well as... Okay, Birdring not going to get flashbanged.
I had heard...
some more. He's got the pulse bomb.
I had heard from so many that the new DPS player for Lunatic High was one to be afraid of, and as soon as it was announced, I wasn't sure if I should believe the rumors, but I believe them now. That is going to be a stomp win for Lunatic High. When they told me it was Fleta, when they told me it was Munchkin, I said, okay, these are two storied players, always better than their teammates, always kind of in this prison, it felt, where they were meant for so much more. And tonight they played together on Lunatic High, the most famous team in Korea, Seoul's team, and Munchkin with basically, I don't think he died a single time on that second round, just dominating headshots, flashbangs, control of the defense matrix on the side of Zumba. Void not getting the better end of those. Baited is Cloud9 a few of these times. And this does not bode well. We knew that control might be a close one, and it's one of Lunatic High's weak points, but with that kind of domination, I'm worried for the rest of the series.
That was not a weak point whatsoever. I want to shout out to the Doomfist coming in from Fleta as well. We were calling for it. in the last series, especially in the earlier couple of maps, saw it at the very end, and now once again on University in what looked like they were going to be pretty much mirrored compositions, but with Doomfist switching out for the Tracer on the side of Cloud9 Kongdoo. Of course, with Burgering, you do want to keep that one on your roster, but it just made it look like a complete outclassing. And Rascal does not get outclassed on a hit scan character very often at all.
No, he does not. And, you know, for Cloud9 Kongdoo, the last match was basically a walkover, it feels like, you know? They just totally destroyed it. There was never a moment of fear for them. In their loss against GC Busan, it felt like he was outclassed by Prophet. And now it feels like he's being outclassed by Munchkin, these players that he's more famed than, you know? He's one of the most famous players in Korea in terms of DPS, one of the highest KDAs in Apex. And it feels like he's just getting bad luck one after the other. These new Tracer players are showing him up. Prophet first, now Munchkin.
Yeah.
And it's got to be a blow to your mentality when the coordination on your opponent's side, the defensive matrix are shutting you down, whereas his Tracer is finding everything. As Birdring, you might even be frustrated with Void right now.
Yeah, but you have to look over at Lunatic High as well, because Zumba and Miro, especially on University, played an incredible frontline. As we do have a look at Munchkin, this was his debut kill, actually grabbing the first of this entire series at the same time. Really looking good. Oh,
look at how calmly he moves as well. That's a sign of a great Tracer player. Counter barrage here from Flata, gets the double. Patience on the side of Lunatic High is one thing I see tonight that I did not see very much of in Season 4. Remember, they experimented with so many rosters. They tried to solve the DPS problem. These new players may be the solution.
Yeah. It's just incredibly impressive. And you're right, I know Birdring still a phenomenal player, but some of the questions may need to be asked for these front lines, for the Winston, for the D.Va, because it feels like a different experience when you've got the likes of Zumba and Miro creating so much space, creating so much ruckus. And to be an expert Tracer, you need an expert team around you as well to provide you with the leeway to be able to dart in and around the backside, because if you don't have that, then you're just not going to be able to get anything done, because everyone just turns on you, wipes you out.
Yeah, so I just feel like for Cloud9 Kongdoo too, with no subs available, and this tactical pause used early, oh man, Birdring head in hands. This needs to be a big momentum shift. Where we go to the next map is so critical.
Yeah.
Munchkin's Tracer is really good. We saw his McCree, fantastic as well. But can he outdo Birdring when he's on the Soldier is the question. If Cloud9 thinks that Birdring is the better Soldier here and thinks that they can shut down Fleta's Genji, I think we're going to see that similar Numbani pick, the same Numbani pick saw Lunatic High go to. If not, they may just try to King's Row, try to out-mechanic. They had a rough first game. Escort and Hybrid are different than Control, though. It's not about just running around doing DPS. It creates, you need a lot more coordination, you need a lot more positioning. It's not just about this King of the Hill style deathmatch nearly. It's much more coordinated. If they want to win that coordination war, I think you go to King's Row and try to beat them that way straight up. If you want to outplay the DPSs and try to control that high ground, we go to Numbani. This one's not an obvious pick. Our last two series, most of the map picks really were glaring. They were obvious, but going to this one, it's a little bit of a tougher call for Cloud9 Kongdoo. Yeah,
I feel like Cloud9 Kongdoo can just try and attack the weakness that they see as being there. And with now attack pause behind them, you saw it was actually Rascal that at the beginning of that pause getting a bit of a stern talking to there from the coach, either trying to build up his confidence once again or get themselves in the mindset. See, head back a little bit. Yeah, Cloud9 Kongdoo really need to go for a reset here as we move to Hybrid.
I think momentum is so key. The wind is out of the sails of C9 Kongdoo after their 3-0. Where are we headed? Okay, Numbani, they want to take this one. It's a great map for Birdring. I think that they can certainly make this work against Fleta's Genji if that's how he wants to attack. And
great
against
map
Munchkin
for Rascal's Soldier as well, getting those sight lines down corridors and things like that.
I think that if Munchkin can prove himself on Soldier here, then I mean, Lunatic High looks twice as strong as they did like before we found out about this roster, you know?
Yeah.
The team coming into this before we knew about the new DPSs half as strong as what we're seeing right now. If he can prove himself on the Soldier right now, I'm getting a little bit of chills. Remember, Fleta can also play Soldier. So
yeah, and I feel like Fleta would be the one playing Soldier, right? They'd be playing something like a Soldier Tracer.
They certainly could do that too.
Get a bit of extra movement, but this is flexibility that we haven't seen on a Lunatic High roster so far, but they look so damn good right now. Let's do it. Let's head over to Numbani for map number 2. Right, Kongdoo fans getting themselves coordinated and back into it. Seems like Cloud9 and Lunatic High have similar ideas for how this one's going to go. It's unsurprising, to be perfectly honest, as far as Lunatic High on attack are concerned, because Fleta did show that his Genji certainly up to the task.
Yeah, this is a better duo than Who Are You, Fleta, if you want to run Tracer Genji, because you have Specialist Genji and you have Specialist Tracer, no Flex Tracer, which is what we saw from Who Are You, right? The most concerning thing and the most odd thing about this is that Rascal wants to go toe-to-toe with Fleta. That's not what I thought we were going to see. I thought they wanted to try to deal with Fleta using long-range hit scan rather than trying to dive. So it's going to be dive versus dive. If you ask who's the more accomplished Genji of the two, the answer is easily Rascal. Let's see what Fleta can have when Jaehong is on his side. We already saw that was one of the reasons why he dominated on the Genji against MY.
Yeah, augmented by the best dive team in the world probably does help you out as Fleta joins Lunatic High. But now currently just dancing around trying to create space for himself, and this barrier is not going to be doing much good as Rascal immediately gets into the backline and gets rid of Jaehong. Keep your eyes on this percentage though, because you can see Fleta building his up really nicely as Rascal also doing the same, but this is just a whitewash at the moment. Already a couple of picks coming in, one of them being Void makes it so difficult to defend.
I mean, you can see this calls coming through. When you see someone like Munchkin just suddenly turn and kill someone, it's like he's a robot. No, he's not. He got told, hey, help me finish this guy up on the high ground. He turns, gets the kill. Insanely fast cap here for Lunatic High. Fleta, maybe he got outclassed in the beginning there in terms of damage done, but he's close to that Dragon Blade, as you say. He's respawning now. Cloud9 Kongdoo just trying to buy time, but they don't have ultimates in order to do so. I don't think this will work.
Yeah, they're doing their very best. We're very, very close. That's a Pulse Bomb delivered, and Lunatic High just destroy them. Unfortunate decision-making there, as Birdring did at least get the stick, but still just going to sack his life for it.
I just find it so puzzling that they decided to put Rascal on the Genji instead of playing to this map's strengths on defense, as we've seen in Korea time and time again.
This is what I'm talking about, though. Jaehong switching over to the Soldier. Give us even more DPS.
Triple DPS, yeah. We thought that, the new DPS was so great. Jaehong was like, wait, remember me though, I'm actually originally a DPS.
He's still probably the best Widowmaker on Lunatic High, let's be real.
He is. Alright, Dragon Blade has potential sound barrier pairing here. They might want to save it for either a better opportunity or to be used for contestation. Nope, gonna use it now.
Yeah, and Fleta actually gonna dive all the way forward. Munchkin grabs the kill onto Quartermain first though as Miro. He's the one doing most of the work there on the front line. We've got rid of the mech. And Lunatic High once again just washing Cloud9 Kongdoo. They just look absent right now.
I mean, this is just a total out-of-control train coming down this
it's a slaughterhouse.
Get that train off the street, man. It belongs on the railroad. Jaehong's on the high ground here as well. They have total control of high ground with dominance on the ground as well. They can actually counter this if they go too far into the archway. Jaehong's found though.
Yeah, Birdring delivers him a Pulse Bomb.
Too wide though.
Yeah, he's just going to get himself off. No stick comes in that secures the life of Jae-Hong. Rascal's going to be able to get the dash through as he gets out his Dragon Blade. Starts it off with a kill onto Toby. Looking for more, but the self-destruct is good for creating space, and Munchkin gets himself out of the way, but Birdering punishes him for it. Signs of life here for Cloud9 Kongdoo.
With the advantage Lunatic High had, they wanted to use that Soldier high ground to get picks to get completion. They failed to do so, so we're going to see the switch. Fleta on Soldier. Jae-Hong going to stick with this Zenyatta now. Just wanted to make that push happen. I wanted to take a little bit more of a safe and slower approach to this. So we'll be, you know, we talking about the Soldier Tracer. It's definitely going to be Fleta on the Soldier, and this is a great comp. I love this DPS duo because it feels like it serves every purpose.
Yeah, and also so robust as well, can do a lot of different things. The sound barrier for Cloud9 is going to keep Rascal alive, at least for the moment, and does secure the kill onto Jae-Hong in the backline. Munchkin grabbing one, and Rascal with him dead. A fair bit of the damage is now missing, and Fleta comes through. Able just to tear everyone apart. That's without attack visor as well. Yeah. Normally when you see like so many soldier kills, it's like, oh yeah, attack visor came in. Nope. Fleta just tracking him down real nicely.
Sound barrier used here because they really want this to be completion. They're still a few meters away though. The members of Cloud9 are coming back. Very early sound barrier here from Toby. He thought it was going to be enough, but so far, no, it's not.
And Fish is going to dive at exactly the right time. Grabs Fleta. Zumba gets rid of a Diva Mech, but not sure whether it's going to be enough because Cloud9 have started the snowball and they're moving on forward. We're at 2 minutes 30. Lunatic High still with some time to get this payload pushed back up, but this positioning that Cloud9 Kongdoo have it at is working really, really nicely for them.
And Toby used the sound barrier because he thought that was going to be it, that was going to be the cap. He wanted to use it when they were having a larger fight. He was so sure they were going to have it, that's why he used it early. Had he saved it, when that fight occurred where they did get the respawns through, because the long run bikes for Lunatic High are very annoying, that could have won them the longer fight.
But Osen's actually going to be able to pick up the kill onto Fleta here. Lunatic High answering back though very, very quickly. Losing the Tracer and the Genji at the same time just means that there's not a lot of options, but Jae-Hong is going to feel the wrath of Fish's backhand. See whether this means that Cloud9 Kongdoo can actually get anything done. Miro says no, as the Primal Rage is going to be utilized just to try and get this last bit of meterage. They want to Desperation get that once again from Cloud9 Kongdoo though.
They wanted to get that Dragon Blade over here, but it's just a little bit too little too late. Even with the pick onto Jae-Hong, who still holds his Transcendence. Not enough.
They do draw out the attack visor though, as Fleta is going to switch back over. Miro takes down Badosin.
Munchkin's camp there of the spawn nearly got him another pick. That was like the furthest recall I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He goes all the way back here.
And Lunatic High have done a fantastic job here of keeping their ult economy whilst also getting the completion of point B. So as we go for the final push, they've got 4 ults ready. Fleta charging up the Deadeye.
Okay, good D-Matrix here against Murdering. Sound barriers up here for Cloud9 Kongdoo. A lot of resources spent.
It's not what they want though, because they're losing members. They invest the support ult and they're going to die. Quartermain's in trouble. Rascal does have the Dragon Blade. 1 kill so far onto Fleta, but he just can't get himself forward. Zumba's there. He's got a big mech. Doesn't care too much about swords by the looks of things. Yeah, as they're going to continue pushing forward.
He was stuck there on the kind of the ceiling was in his way. He wanted to get an angle above, but there was no angle above to gain. Oh, he got it! No way!
In the spawn, he gets the stick. That is so cheeky out of Munchkin.
Looks like Lunatic High is going to get a pretty good time bank on this one. Cloud9 Kongdoo is about to have a Transcendence. They need to keep Badosin alive long enough in order to use it. That will burn down some of this time bank.
Well, Zumba was sorted out here, but Fleta with a really nice turnaround flashbang. It's not enough to keep him alive as Quartermain is there with follow-up damage, but you can see Lunatic High, they're still able to get work done. Jae-Hong is just being bashed around by Fisher pretty much this whole map thus far, but I'm not sure whether it's exactly going to work out. As Munchkin says, see you later, big monkey man. Perfect timing on the pulse bomb there as well as Lunatic High continue wiping the floor with Cloud9 Kongdoo. This is going to be a minute in the time bank if they can get the work done, as Transcendence is going to wear off.
Deadeye, that's it.
Deadeye secures it.
So 1 minute and 6 for the time bank here of Lunatic High, at least, it seems. And the defense tools there that Cloud9 Kongdoo used turned that 2 minute time bank into a 1 minute time bank. It felt like at a certain point they realized there's no way we hold this. Let's try to stagger our ultimates to buy time. It was well played by Fisher with the Primal Rage. He was looking for backline picks, but he couldn't go too far or else they would have completed. He comes back, Transcendence comes out. Pulse Bomb actually killed him. Had the Transcendence saved him, maybe they burned down about 30 more seconds, but Lunatic Kai's DPS duo right now is out of control. Rascal had his moments, sure, but just a little bit surprised he's running the Genji here against this comp that is so well versed at dealing with it. And Lunatic Kai has played against Genjis forever. Genji's falling out of the meta right now, and
yeah, it's a bit
not
of a disaster.
working
I just want to bring your attention to what Fleta has played thus far. Pharah, Tracer, Soldier, McCree, Genji,
Widowmaker.
Doomfist, Widowmaker.
That's 8 heroes.
That's 8 heroes. Like, and he's looked really good on all of them. Like, this guy's a god. Like, the Flashluck's shackles come off, and this dude is finally able to demonstrate exactly why he's so feared as one player on a losing team.
And this is just one day of games. Imagine after living and training with the Seoul team, what his potential could become. We don't even know what it is yet. And I think this is every Fleta fan's dream, is to see him on this stage, finally playing with the big league teams and playing like a star, what he was never able to do before.
And it's just so exciting as well, like seeing his Doomfist and his Genji augmented by Jaehong on his Ana, things like that. The fact that his Orbs of Harmony on Zenyatta are fantastic as far as choosing the priority targets, oftentimes being Fleta, who's now able to lean on his team. It's terrifying seeing such a weapon now unleashed with so many phenomenal teammates.
So Kongdoo's approach is going to try to use Rascal on the high ground on attack. No, they didn't do that on defense, but on attack, that's what their plan is.
And this 3-man unit now just working around Fleta's Soldier, who's just got that biofield, and Birdring has to get the hell out of there. They've kept control. They got the picks to start this one off. And Munchkin just going so aggressive.
He wants these Void picks, man. He's just really looking for him over and over again. It builds him pulse bomb, so even if he doesn't get the kill, it's worth it. That was crazy.
Where the heck was
the health pack? That was so well done. Gets the melee on his way to the health pack, so he doesn't actually have to use his recall. Stole it from Birdring.
If I was Birdring, I would have thought that there were like 5 Munchkins just running around. That was just too much.
Fleta still controls the high ground here. It's going to be Rascal versus Fleta. Pulse comes through.
Yeah, good pick by Void, though, onto Munchkin to finish off that kill. It was nicely done. Miro comes down.
With a nano.
Yeah, does have a fair bit of damage with that Tesla cannon, but decides to not dive too far forward. Oh, self-destruct! Not going to be enough. Didn't quite find it.
Okay, he's going to
continues to go aggressive. Yeah. Void knocked out of the mech. Zumba also going to follow suit. No defense matrix on either side, but another Helix rocket going to come in. Is actually what got rid of Void, but Fleta now with the tac visor. Oh god, it's his Helix rockets, man.
Yeah, it's always true that you never really want to be in a choke point with all your teammates locked in place. And that's why heroes that we talked about tonight, like Widowmaker is one way to put everyone in a room. In this case, it was great play by Fleta and Miro together to keep everyone locked into where they couldn't get out to get that control of the high ground. They couldn't get out to save themselves from AoE damage. The heal grenades coming through from Jaehyung across the way. Fantastic defense here for Lunatic Kai. Great corralling, pushing these members into that area where they just could not do the damage. Very well done. Okay, that was
Rascal's going to be able to grab one as well as he throws down the tac visor. Good positioning from Miro to make sure that he gets him out of this fight. Jaehong with the sound barrier able to augment this, but Miro still going to go down extremely low. Rascal puts the last few bullets in, and it means the Lunatic Kai have to give up some very valuable space. Both of the tanks now missing. Fleta still able to get some bullets out, but not
great
for
bio
long.
grenade. That bio grenade was so good.
So sexy.
Oh man, tossed out the sleep here as well. And even if he loses the mech for this, it's going to be okay. Void only getting the mech, using his ultimate here. Jaehong just showing why he's one of the best Anas in the world, if not the best Ana. And he would say he is, myself included.
You can't run away from that one if it's stuck to your back. Birdring able to get one in there. Cloud9 Kongdoo really need to start moving on this one. Zumba in trouble. Pilot Diva actually able to land a fair bit of damage there.
He's going to get the mech. Oh, never mind.
Rascal says no. Fleta with the tac visor though, finding some good sight lines. No, not going to be enough. Rascal again, bit of a buzzkill.
Rascal
running through.
is really, and once he was able to finally get control of that high ground, get out of that stairwell and get up there, he's been able to do so much more than Fleta, who was relegated to the ground or stuck there when Zumba couldn't protect him. When Zumba got DMAC, that's when all the momentum shifted, because it meant that we could see Rascal finally get that massive damage done and win the soldier battle.
That was only 30 seconds to go in the end there, so Cloud9 Kongdoo are able to grab the first point, but not in the time that Lunatic were able to. However, this staggered kill line is brilliant. Birdring, well-deserved zoom. So he was really able to pick up those picks, get themselves through this street space quite handily.
Indeed. Holding on to some ultimates here as well. Void, really the only one missing because he did knock Zumba out of the mech with it, but it ended up being in the long term because he didn't reset. He tried to remech using pilot diva damage, which was actually pretty good for him in the end.
Well, Munchkin gonna head back to exactly where he was. Birdring starting off the fight. We'll see whether he's gonna be able to complete it as no. Doesn't get punished, but still not able to grab the pick off as now Lunatic going to invest the nano. It's in response to Vidoshin throwing through his Transcendence earlier on in the battle. As the self-destruct, will it actually find anything? There's a well-placed boss to keep everyone out of danger. And now Miro, Munchkin, everyone getting the kills into the backline. Birdring punishes Miro for it though. I love this. They're focusing the Gorilla this time around. Cloud9 Kongdoo not necessarily able to get that done last time we saw them.
Okay, well done here by Munchkin. The longer fight is actually going pretty even, but this is unfortunately bad for Cloud9 Kongdoo, who don't have a large time bank. They can't afford to be trading even right now. They haven't even gotten to contention here for point B. They're pushing it around now.
Yeah, the fact that they are actually still creating meterage, though, is very, very good. They need to try and get over this line. Oh! Not going to be able to stop it. Lunatic, yeah. It's the anti-C9. That was a cute one.
That was really well done.
Kongdoo are going to just kill everyone, moving back towards spawn.
2 DMAX of Zumba is why Birdring's been able to do so much damage. When we're watching Birdring before, it looks like, oh wow, he's just not doing as much as Munchkin. It's because Zumba has always been there. But when he was DMAC'd and when he self-destructed and was killed before he could remac, these are the times where we finally got to see Birdring really do that extra damage. It's so important.
Well, here's the dive in. Fleta has the Dragon Blade available. Toby nowhere near a sound barrier though. Jaehong nowhere near a Transcendence. But there it is. Dragon Blade comes in. Fleta immediately destroyed. But Ocean is going to be the only casualty, and they're just trading kills here in this sloppy fight. Okay, Jaehong able to grab Rascal, and this really should be the turn of the tide here in favor of Lunatic. Fleta stopping the payload.
Makes the switch back to Doomfist as well. Very strong here against dealing with this Birdring dive. When Zumba is DMAC'd, Fleta can be a pseudo support. I keep calling him that. If Fleta does enough damage, he gets tanky, he gets shields, he can deal with the backline divers. He's not a healer, but he can provide that extra support and can threaten the ones who are trying to dive his backline. So I like this switch quite a bit.
Well, Fleta is going to reveal himself here. Birdring still dashing around, throws out a pulse bomb. Looks like a bit of a panic one as he doesn't actually find anyone with it, but they do manage to get the mech from Zumba. Rascal's going to fall, and Fleta was finally punished. Munchkin, the double kill comes in with the pulse bomb though.
He wants a triple.
Incredibly played, but Ocean, there was just nowhere he could go after that double pulse comes in. Cloud9 Kongdoo were just completely outmanned and outgunned.
And now Time Bank is better for Lunatic no matter what. Let's watch this again, by the way. Does it right around the corner outside of Transcendence range, chases him down calmly, doesn't use blinks until they're necessary, avoids that one left click with the second blink, kills him there. Fantastic mechanical play. And this is looking dire for Cloud9 Kongdoo now. All they really have is that tack visor, and as the attacking team, they can't gain control of the high ground. Fisher, if he could maybe get a pick, they could get it, but this could make it even worse.
Yep. Fleta actually going to jump his way forward as well. Sound barrier just to make sure that he's not going to fall down. Rocket Punch not finding any joy. As Zumba once again going to be DMAC'd. He does find... No, sorry, that was the self-destruct. His Quartermain's going to fall down, but Birdring punishes him for it. Fisher jumping forward. Ultimates invested here from Cloud9, who really want to try and get around this corner, get towards completion.
I mean, you can see what I'm saying. Fleta kept kept Birdring at bay there. He played the support role. He helped deal with that evasive tracer. Void's down. Again, no ults to use here. Quartermain can sound barrier, but it's going to have to be one hell of a team fight here.
Yep, stagger, 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 and Munchkin says no, but Ocean and Rascal just punished for their positioning next to each other. Fleta coming through, wants to get some celebratory punches in here as no more staggers to come down apart from Void, but that mech No defense matrix has enough defense to get rid of that one. And Lunatic High, match point now against Cloud9 Kongdoo.
That's right. For a moment, I forgot it was only a best of 5. They are on that match point. 1 win away from victory here in this grand finals to put themselves ahead. They defeated Cloud9 Kongdoo last time in their 3rd match at Apex. They faced each other twice in groups. The finals went to Game 7. Cloud9 Kongdoo desperately wants revenge. They want to prove themselves. They didn't bring themselves with a shiny new roster or new DPS players tonight. They wanted to play it safe, play it standard. Sure, Quartermain has been subbed in, but he's been playing fantastically. However, Lunatic High's coordination has been much better, and I think as it was, I feel most would say in the grand finals, this is the story of Zumba outplaying Void.
Yeah, I think so too. But I also think that this is like a demonstration of Lunatic High if they have star DPS players. And so far, out of Munchkin, out of Fleta, we've seen nothing but highlight reel plays on basically every DPS hero in the game. This is what we wanted. We wanted adaptation, we wanted switch-ups, and we wanted compositions that can tear apart their opponents strategically, not necessarily mechanically.
Yeah. And for Cloud9 Kongdoo, this feels real bad. They've got just 1 life left. They've already used their tactical pause. It just feels like a really unfortunate situation here. How can they find the solution to this problem? I think protecting your DPS is playing a little bit safer against Munchkin, helping to keep Void alive because he keeps getting DMAC. I think his positioning is going to have to be a little bit more conservative as Munchkin, just like Eska did in the grand finals of Season 3, has been DMACing him. And when that happens, Fleta and Munchkin have a field day.
Yeah, there were some moments there where Birdering was actually getting a bunch of these DMACs as well. Zumba was looking like he was struggling just a little bit. But guys, we are going to go to a short commercial break. We'll get back a potential last game in this best of 5.
그램에게 무게는 혁신의 시작일 뿐. 이번엔 사용 시간의 혁신. 시간을 그램한다. 모든 것의 재설계로 완전하게 새로워진 그램은 한 번 충전으로 무려 24시간. 그램의 혁신은 시간으로 이어진다. LG 그램.
Game, record, and stream without compromise.
그램에게 무게는 혁신의 시작일 뿐. 이번엔 사용 시간의 혁신. 시간을 그램한다. 모든 것의 재설계로 완전하게 새로워진 그램은 한 번 충전으로 무려 24시간. 그램의 혁신은 시간으로 이어진다. LG 그램.
Game, record, and stream without compromise.
그램에게 무게는 혁신의 시작일 뿐. 이번엔 사용 시간의 혁신. 시간을 그램한다. 모든 것의 재설계로 완전하게 새로워진 그램은 한 번 충전으로 무려 24시간. 그램의 혁신은 시간으로 이어진다. LG 그램.
Game, record, and stream without compromise.
그램에게 무게는 혁신의 시작일 뿐. 이번엔 사용 시간의 혁신. 시간을 그램한다. 모든 것의 재설계로 완전하게 새로워진 그램은 한 번 충전으로 무려 24시간. 그램의 혁신은 시간으로 이어진다. LG 그램.
Game, record, and stream without compromise.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Seoul Cup SuperMatch presented by OGN. We're up to game number 3, Lunatic versus C9 Kongdoo, and honestly, it feels like C9 Kongdoo haven't been allowed into this series as of yet, Wolf. It's been a shutout by Lunatic.
There were 2 dreams come true tonight. One was Lunatic to have star tier DPS put on a big stage, and The other was to put two-star DPS that never had this opportunity before in this roster. And it feels like this culmination of these two dreams coming together. Munchkin and Fleta, the star players that were held back by their teams, and Lunatic, who was considered by many to be held back by their DPS. You put those two together, you have this fantastic roster, which looks poised to close this series out 3-0. Yeah, it is a tough question now for Cloud9 Kongdoo. Where do you go? It's tough because Fleta's a good Genji player. I feel like if you're worried about dealing with Munchkin's Tracer and dealing with Fleta's Soldier, for example, and the support that's been shown, I think you don't want to go to Horizon, you don't want to go to Hanamura. Volskaya will be the map. So still, it's a good map for Rascal to play Genji, and they also can try to shut down Fleta's Soldier play up there on the high ground.
Yeah, assuming that they're going to be playing attack, but Rascal does have an opportunity to head towards his Soldier as well, occupy that high ground at the same time, and we know that Rascal's certainly one that can go off on that pick. The problem to me here is the adaptability and the amount of options that Lunatic have is just insane. What we need to see out of Fleta now is that he plays Mei, Reaper, and Sombra, and then he's just pretty much played everything that does damage. Yeah. In the entirety of Overwatch. It's terrifying the amount of versatility this man adds to Lunatic.
Oh, this is scary for Cloud9 Kongdoo. Lunatic, it's not their best map win rate. In fact, it's the map they went to when they lost to GC Busan with the Eska sub-in. They failed. They lost 0-3. It's a smart map choice for Cloud9 Kongdoo, but can they bring their mentality back? That's the question.
Yeah, we'll see whether they can do it as we head to Volskaya Industries for potentially last game of the series. Kongdoo fans finding their voices. This is do or die now for them. Got a relatively low DPS composition here as Rascal's going to be on the Sombra, but it's not one of these triple DPS Sombra type builds. Yeah. It's more about this health pack denial that they can add here at point A.
It does limit some of what Munchkin can do, obviously, with less health packs available. They won't have that same high ground long range hit scan dominance though with this comp. Going to be good against this comp with Fleta, though, on the Widowmaker. I think it's a great way to kind of shut him down. If they can get the Translocator in the back, they can kill him. They need to make sure they're in good position as soon as they see this, which they have seen now. Yep. They play it safe, get back into the hidey points, I guess you could say, behind these walls.
I like the use of the term hidey points.
Hidey points, man.
Wraps himself around, wants to challenge this high ground. As you can see, Bedosian in trouble, but Munchkin doesn't want to go too far. Needs to snap his way back out again. It's not going to be enough to try and grab that pick. Birdring and Munchkin now doing battle against one another, but remember that recall still on cooldown is going to come back very, very soon.
Close call there. Birdring dodges the snipe as well. That would have been the end of his life had that actually connected. Okay, zoning a lot with this. They're going to dive onto Fleta. He misses the high ground grapple. Wants to just turn this around, though. Good barrier actually coming out from Fisher.
Yeah. Doesn't actually look like he minds too much here as Fleta is able to take down Birdring. Miro gonna kill Fisher there as well in the guerrilla battle. And Rascal, he is invisible, has the EMP, but can he actually get in to cause enough disruption? I'm not sure he can because they're just losing too many members.
1 second left on that Translocator and he just didn't have it to escape. Holds on to the EMP. Looks very likely they're just simply going to give this one up. Quartermain scouts it out. I meant to say Miro's bubble, by the way, not Fisher's. His bubble was actually what got them the kill, what protected Fleta in that fight. And now Cloud9 Kongdoo, all they've really got that they're holding on to is this EMP. Close to a lot of ultimates.
Yeah, well, Recon's going to come in here for Fleta, so knows exactly where everyone is and just kills Rascal. See you later, buddy.
Oh, but Ocean is at risk as well.
That's an unfortunate one, but it doesn't seem to matter. As we're going to get the recall, Quartermain's going to help out his fellow support.
That was really important. Got him a
Yeah,
health pack.
actually saves his life there as Fleta just untouched, able to stand here right in amongst it. As I say it, of course, Primal Rage going to come in. Oh, ho, ho, ho. That was a nice pop-off.
Yeah, no way up out of that one. Blocked there by the terrain. Jaehyung is under fire here. We'll just go ahead and reset.
Yeah, they're looking for it. No snowball capture going to come in here, and they're going to change up this composition. Fleta now in this enclosed space heads over to the Doomfist.
Okay, so a little bit more dive potential here. Can help deal with Birdring. Also Rascal, as Rascal tries to get those picks onto Jaehyung, who will be switching over to the Ana as well. So this comp is a little bit tougher to actually burst down Fisher with because they don't have the Discord orbs, but it can help deal with high mobility heroes like the Tracer, like the Sombra.
All right, Miro going a little bit too hero as he's going to get taken down by a Void, as I believe he just dived way too far forward. Didn't quite see how it worked.
That's the hero to zero, not the other way around in this case.
That was a sweet Hercules quote. Haven't heard many of those. Is Munchkin going to get himself back out again? We'll see where he's going to go for his flanking attack.
Looks like he just wants to try to scout a little bit and look for an angle to threaten the pick. Disfound here by Rascal, though. Fleta's with him.
And Birdring hanging around there as well, so Munchkin just not going to be too phased by this one. Zumba on the front line, but has Toby here to help him out. Munchkin going to take down Bedosian, but Fleta, he's also going to fall. Birdring getting some work done as the mech takes a lot of damage, but Munchkin not able to actually break through it just yet. Still with Defense Matrix opportunities here for Cloud9 Kongdoo on the point.
Yeah, those were two great D-Matrixes from Void. He will try to remech here. Can he get it? No, he is not going to get it.
Yeah, and that was the sleep actually onto him there as well, just to make sure that they locked him down into the right position. But Cloud9 Kongdoo still able to answer back with a lot of kills.
So unfortunate he was able to do so much there and was still taken out, but it did enough to win the longer fight here for Cloud9 Kongdoo. Did have to use that ultimate, which is the worst part of all this. But a lot of time, forced a lot of the focus of Lunatic High into that pilot Diva, which caused them to be a little bit out of position.
Yep. Oh, okay, Fleta is going to make it 9 as the Reaper has been opted in for. Certainly seen a lot of this particular map, but not from Lunatic High, because they seem to only have a couple of different comps. As Rascal, he's going to jump around, translocates
really
back,
cool.
but nice hack.
Really good hack there. Rascal putting on a clinic with this Sombra.
Yeah.
Now with no Miro here, Birdring is looking to do the damage to the squishies.
Yeah, it does have the Pulse Bomb here as well, so Lunatic High need to be really careful about their positioning. Okay, no Pulse Bomb going to be thrown out, trying to bait, I believe, but Munchkin's going to be able to take down Quartermain, and this could be the start of something for Lunatic High. Munchkin gets rid of Birdring. Not a lot of damage remaining, and the support has been ruined, but at least there's a decent EMP from Rascal to try and help this one out. But Ocean just completely out of the way.
Toby
Munchkin grabs
though.
his third kill of this particular team fight, and Fleta untouched now as they move on to the point. Quartermain in trouble.
Toby had that sound barrier, so they were able to make it through that EMP, and it's so great when you have a Reaper here to knock through these tanks, the time buyers. It gives them so much ult percentage as well, nearly at the Death Blossom, 91%. Yeah. D-Matrix about to be on cooldown, or he's just going to be knocked out. That's the opportunity.
Death Blossom comes in. So many kills for Lunatic High as Rascal and Birdring, the only men standing. And Rascal, he was coming out of base, so he died previously. Beautiful fight. They'll get the third tick. Will they get the completion? No, not quite. Hero jump in to come down from Fisher, but he's immediately destroyed. Can they actually boop them off this long enough? It only needs a couple of seconds before they can get this one, but nope, Lunatic High are going to get pushed back.
Yeah, good hack there on the Miro to prevent the Primal Rage. Toby's going to hold on to that sound barrier as Fleta makes the switch to Soldier here after that incredible play with the Reaper, understanding when the D-Matrix is going to be down. He didn't even use it in that moment. He waited to be for certain, for sure, when Void was DMAC'd, then he pulled it out during the DMAC animation to get those kills. Jaehyung's going to make the switch over here to the Sombra too. It's going to be hacks for hacks here, EMP for EMP. Very common to see this on this map, especially in Season 3.
The EMP Blossom's actually going to come in as well as Fleta switch back to the Reaper once again. His Hero World Tour, Overwatch Hero World Tour is going to continue.
What can't he play? We'll never know.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe Diva. Maybe it's too boring for him. I'm
Wait
not
till the
entirely
rockets.
sure, but there's self-destruct. Gonna buy space, but not any kills. Jaehong, he's been hacked. EMP flies forward there as well as they just complete it. And Lunatic get the full completion on Bolskaya, and Cloud9 Kongdoo look a bit gobsmacked after that one. I personally wasn't ready just for that amount of domination. It was just a well-placed self-destruct got them the final tick.
Mom, are you watching this? Is what that girl is texting right now. As the EMP meant that the mobility abilities like Leap and Blink to get onto the point were not usable. Also, it was tough to get into an angle where they could contest the point and avoid the self-destruct. That combo there was what they wanted. Had it failed and they didn't get the capture, Jaehong would have easily been able to build one more EMP with the time they had left, about a minute 30, a minute 40, I believe it was, to then use the Death Blossom to make that combo with the EMP, as you were talking about, the EMP Blossom. So it was a risk they took committing the self-destruct, but with the EMP, there was just no way that Cloud9 could contest anymore with 2 ticks available. Didn't have enough time. Very coordinated from Lunatic. But this map goes to tiebreakers a lot, especially when Lunatic is involved. They have the highest tiebreak rate in Korea for Assault maps. So this certainly could swing to a tiebreaker. Cloud9 Kongdoo burst that time down to 1:30 on the dot, and they certainly could do better. We have seen better times before.
Yeah, and also Volskaya is one of these notorious maps for either it takes forever to capture point B, or you can snowball that one really, really hard. So Cloud9 looking for that, see whether they can get some staggered kills at point A, or whether Lunatic can just hold them off here at point A and say goodnight to this whole series and this whole final in spectacular fashion.
Would be a hell of a ride. The reverse sweep into the sweep. And it's the team most considered to be the stronger team, right? Most people consider Cloud9 Kongdoo to be stronger than MY. Their expectations will change probably after tonight, but Rascal's
now,
on the Genji.
This is Lunatic in Super Saiyan mode, man. I feel like we didn't even know that they had this form, but I don't even know whether it's their final form, Wolf.
I don't think so. I mean, this is them playing their first day of televised matches. Now, Fleta's going to be on the Soldier, what we expected to see from Cloud9 Kongdoo. They used Sombra instead.
Well, Birdring actually going to help out as Jaehong is going to be taken down by Fish. A good coordinated dive by the Tracer and the Winston. Claim that high ground. Discord onto Miro there as well, who goes down very, very low, but Fleta able to get rid of Fisher. Doesn't seem to be too much of a problem as the dash through is going to say goodnight to Fleta. Munchkin dies, and this is a very quick point A if they are able to lock this one down, which looks like they can.
Really well coordinated dive to get into the high ground there. Miro almost died, but the kills there onto Zumba. And Jaehong especially, who died first there, meant there wasn't enough healing. We're going to see flips here from Fleta onto the Genji, and they're going to run Sombra here on the defense. Cloud9 Kongdoo willing to keep the same lineup for now. What's working for them doesn't necessarily need to be changed. Birdring's hoping for a translocate. He gets it!
Yeah.
Baited!
And Fleta as well, he's able to get one down. So it's actually going to be an advantage of Lunatic for now as Munchkin continues his onslaught. Birdring going to fall. As Rascal, he's low, he's out of position. Does have the reflect, and he's actually ignored here as Void. Munchkin looking for him.
Oh man, he's going deep for this.
Yeah, they're just trying to find staggers as Void does make it to the edge. And Fisher running back to spawn. Lunatic just buying as much time as they can.
Building up for these blinks again, but Ocean just looking for this Transcendence. Grabs it now. Can be empowering for the Dragon Blade. Fleta's only halfway there. A tough call to make though before EMP. Might want to try to bait that one out before they use this combo. The window of time where he's got the Dragon Blade advantage is closing. But Ocean has to use Transcendence early, so they're going to use the Dragon Blade with it.
Yep, throws that one in there. Jaehong still getting work done in the backline as Rascal's going to get rid of Fleta. Man-in-Arms going to be taken, and Zumba, he's going to fall as well. Void with the double kill, and Cloud9 Kongdoo looking fantastic as they jump towards this point. We've got respawns, but that's about that. And Miro with his Primal Rage looking to try and get rid of Quartermain. He does so, but Rascal says goodnight to him at the same time. Is it going to be enough time bought by Lunatic though? And they say yes, because they're investing the sound barrier into this last-ditch effort. We know they're fantastic at that particular mode of play, and right now there are less members of Cloud9 Kongdoo on this point. Birdring says no to that particular idea as Jaehong's going to be taken down. And honestly, this is a bit of a mess, but it seems to be working for both teams in certain instances.
That was really cool because even though they forced the Transcends to be used, the reaction of Rascal was instant. He made the most of it. He got that Dragon Blade out, got several kills with it. Void's self-destruct was really well placed as well. So they get a tick from this very, very early on. They certainly could match the timing of Lunatic with how well their momentum is going now.
Yeah, Void actually trying to abuse the Discord Orb. Yeah, Toby's going to go down as a Rascal finds him in the backline as well as Fletter. It's Dragon Blade time, but can he actually get the work done as Rascal? He's getting reflected and he takes down Fletter. Dragon Blade or no Dragon Blade, he's proven himself as the Genji.
There was no support. Toby was dead. Jaehong is on the Sombra. So Rascal now getting a third kill here. EMP is going to be used to buy time right now.
Yeah, but Toby is going to get eviscerated, and there's the Pulse Bomb landing onto Miro, ending his onslaught. Yeah, and that's the other Dragon Blade coming in. Rascal charged that one up, killing his comrade Fletter. Now he's just going to try and buy time on this point, but we're so close for Cloud9 Kongdoo to have a godlike time bank in comparison to that of Lunatic High.
Okay, we're going to see Fletter's taken out here. They're just trying to buy time, just trying to eliminate as much of this time make as they can. Lunatic High may have already just given this point up. Self-destruct here blocked by that center barrier.
Translocation tries to go off, but Jaehong is still going to fall, and that's going to be it. So Cloud9 Kongdoo, a better time bank here, and look at how excited they are. Exactly. Could this be the momentum switch in the middle of the series, Wolf?
You could see, one of the cool thing about this, too, is you see Badosian and Rascal there together. He's so hyped, he yells something at Rascal, starts yelling at Quartermain as well. The play of the game there was when Transcendence was forced to be used, Rascal made the most of the Dragon Blade while he had the support healing there. Sometimes you want to wait for the perfect moment to Dragon Blade this when you want to use your Transcendence, but they made the best of that situation. And during the chaos, Void tossed in, he saw where the Translocator was, he tossed in the self-destruct, which meant that when the Translocator came through, it was going to blow up Jaehong. He got a bonus kill there as well. Toby died when Fleta tried to Dragon Blade. He didn't have heals. Rascal takes him out. Rascal's the MVP of that attack there. So they have the better time make, as you say. This still could go either way, but advantage Cloud9 here.
Oh, yes. There's approximately 4 minutes for Cloud9, and as you mentioned, on the dot of 1:30 here for Lunatic to make their attack run. So could be that we'll go to the full overtime as well here, just because it's so hard to get those initial ticks when you're in this overtime mode. And if Lunatic can hold off Cloud9 until something like overtime on point A, that could be a huge deal. But it all relies upon Lunatic getting a very quick cap of point A.
All right, they're going to go with the McCree Doomfist, like we saw from MY earlier. Try to get this one quick. It needs to be kind of a snowball-y cap here with the small timing they have. Void's the target again. Demacked and removed. That means that they can do a lot more with Munchkin. No defense matrix.
Oh god, so many kills coming out for Lunatic, and this is exactly what they needed. Translocation is only going to serve to continue this cap faster. We've got a minute on the clock and Fletter is hunting for more blood. This is another composition coming out from Lunatic, one that they have shown be incredibly good on other maps, but so far here in Volskaya, Kongdoo had not seen it, and therefore were not prepared. The snowball was very, very nice. So a minute 10.
It was a bit of a surprise, and sometimes we see Pharmacy defense comps here against teams with small time makes because it forces hero switches, it can just burn through that time. That's part of the reason why they ran this comp, but when they focus the Diva, which they're trying to do yet again here, then it means that Munchkin just has no opposition, there's no protection for the backline.
Well, Miro with a bit of an eco leap is going to spell his death, and Birdring answers Munchkin. So Lunatic resetting as quickly as they possibly can. You can see Zombie just going to jump off the edge. Fisher is going to get the stragglers.
Okay, 35 seconds to go, but they've already accomplished quite a lot here. If they could just get one tick, they'll be very happy with this.
Yeah, Meteor Strike is there for Fletter as well. Toby and Jaehong building up towards their support ults, but are they even going to get there? 25 seconds to go.
I think the key here is to keep Void alive. He should almost just avoid the fight until the Transcendence come out. If Void lives, I think they've got a great chance of just holding this.
Munchkin gets the flashbang onto Birdring. This could be massive. No more do they need to worry about this. Tracer is Rascal. He's being dealt with now by the Diva.
Couldn't get the health pack though.
Nope. And that's going to be Deadeye coming in. Quartermain's going to fall. Can they get anything? Overtime is going to be coming down. It means extended death timers coming out for Cloud9 Kongdoo, but they are able to get some kills on this point. It still means Lunatic are on there. Sound barrier comes in the nick of time for Toby. Jaehongstead, they're trying to desperately get their way back on, but already it's a whole lot of work being done, trying to build up, trying to get to that second tick if they can get there. So far, 60%. Pretty good deal as Miro's going to get rid of Birdring, and they're holding on to this overtime for so long.
Yeah, just trying to hold this on. Here comes the self-destruct. Good angle. Avoids D-Mech. He's off the point. Fisher and Rascal, the last hopes here, and it's not going to last very long. Lunatic with a tiny timing, just may be able to get completion here on point B with those opening picks. But Ocean with the soldier switch, he's finding a lot of work. He's actually maybe going to save them here.
Yeah, Birdring actually coming through here as well, so that's all they're able to get. Only 60% for Lunatic High. That being said, even with the extended time bank, 60% is a tough ask from Cloud9 Kongdoo.
Yeah,
this could spell the end.
Cloud9 Kongdoo, when they got their actual capture, it was from 1 tick to 3. To get up to where they got the full capture really required the full destruction of Lunatic High. That wipe they got at the end, the self-destruct EMP, that's what closed the deal. But what started as an advantage now feels like a win for Lunatic High here already. I mean, we are so close to a championship here for this team that's been hungry since Season 3. After their performance against GC Busan, and it was really cool to see, you know, Void did play defensively in that last fight, and I thought with Badoshin and Void, that was going to be how they held. But with the Munchkin pick onto the Tracer, that was all the opening they needed. Then they got Munchkin zoned to that room.
Yeah.
Birdring zoned to that room with Miro.
Zumba doing fantastic things as well, just making sure he gets as much pressure onto the Sombra as well, so she couldn't get around, hack everyone out of the fight, things like that. But now this defense is going to be very, very important from Lunatic High. It did not work at all the first time around.
That's right. Same comp too, and Rascal was able to put quick work to it. The dive was really well executed, so we might see a repeat here, but if Lunatic High can have even a decent defense on this first point, they're going to be very happy with it. Rascal hiding the fact that he's Genji, actually going to sneak around here using his dash, so hiding the composition, is going to try to get up here onto the high ground and get to those supports, get to Fleta. Birdring too, they want to do this together. This is so coordinated.
Yeah, on that left-hand high ground is somewhere where you do have soldiers sitting, and he's going to take some damage. They've spotted him out as Rascal gets in around the backside.
Oh, sneak attack!
See you later, but Toby says he doesn't care because Void is going to be boofed off the edge. Toby doing a bunch of work, but it looks like the DPS on the side of Cloud9 continuing to prove why they are some of the most feared. Decent runbacks here for Lunatic High, remember. Cloud9 Kongdoo already respawning, making their way back onto this point to try and lock this one down. 3 minutes as we're already halfway through. More time needs to be bought. This is dangerous for Lunatic High. They needed to try and put up a little bit more of a strong defense on that point. But now they can't go for anything desperate because if they get staggered and then snowballed on, this is over.
Yeah, this is a problem for Lunatic High because they didn't get completion. All they need is 60.5 to win the map. That's all they need here. So it felt comfortable for a moment. Okay, trying to dive down here is Cloud9 Kongdoo onto the low ground, but good defense here. Dragon Blade, what will it find?
Well, Miro's already dead, actually, as Rascal just able to launch his way around the backline. A lot of snowballed kills as we're ticking up. We're ticking up fast here for Cloud9 Kongdoo. It's desperation now for Lunatic High. We know they're pretty good at that. Munchkin has himself a sound barrier, but can they get anything done? I'm not entirely sure. Everyone's just trying to slip through. Do we have any maze switchovers, things like that? Miro jumping through does have the Primal Rage. Okay. Not sure whether it's going to be enough. And self-destruct flies through, doesn't necessarily get kills. Miro lasts a long time.
Toby does come in here with the Sombra, but there you go. That's the C9 for C9 as everyone steps off when the destruct comes through. And they fight back in this series. It will not be a sweep. We could go all the way with this one. This has been such a fantastic night of Overwatch. Cannot even believe where we're at right now. That was so cool, though, what we saw. Cloud9 Kongdoo expecting the way that we saw the setup there for Lunatic High. They went for the sneak attack with the Genji Tracer. They didn't find the soldier there that they were looking for, but they found Munchkin on the ground. He was discorded. He didn't see the dash coming from behind there from Rascal. That's what opened up the point. And Lunatic tried to play greedy, tried to buy time very aggressively, but unfortunately, just wasn't enough, and they didn't have the full completion. So Cloud9 Kongdoo with a few picks there turned the momentum around.
Looked really impressive from Cloud9 Kongdoo in the end there. Of course, getting it in the second round here at the same time, so certainly were pushed to their limits. So Lunatic now to head towards Escort. It was domination last time. We saw it during that reverse sweep earlier on tonight. And they're going to throw out the tack clause. They're going to have a discussion, work out where they're going to go and how they're going to dismantle Cloud9 Kongdoo in the next one.
So Lunatic will have the remaining map choices, okay, against them. So they had the advantage. So now they're trying to figure out where's Cloud9, or sorry, where are they going to take this? And if they lose the next map, where are they going to take the next one? I said that in a really convoluted way, but because they have the advantage, they're trying to figure out what to do with it, because every loss they take now means they have control of the remainder of the map picks. That's why going up 2-0 is so important. So where do we go here? Escort is the map type. Lunatic has shown fantastic McCree play, which is a big staple of both Route 66 and the Dorado map pick. Route 66 is a map where you could just run Fleta on the McCree, but if you go to Dorado, there's opportunities to use them on the Pharah, on attack. You've got the McCree defense, the Soldier defense setups.
Yeah, a lot of different options.
And there really is the X Factor pick, I think, with this draft of players specifically. I think you could go to Gibraltar.
I was going to say this, Wolf. I didn't want to start a meme or anything like that, but I do feel like with his Widowmaker potential, with all his other picks as well, I mean, even in the hangar you can make Pharah work. We've seen that happen before. There's certainly a lot of opportunities. Have a look at some of these highlights. That
was
first
such a
move
sick
from Toby was really nice.
So good here what Rascal was able to accomplish there. Communication, finding those targets. He basically did this all by himself to get that final cap. But yeah, I think Gibraltar is an option. Birdring is very good on the Widow too, so it's not a safe pick if that's where they want to go. And again, we don't really see Gibraltar in Korea, but it's always picked by Widowmaker players who are sometimes one-trick Widows. We see it a lot in promotions. We see it in challengers for these teams that are reliant on these Widow players. They're not relying on Fleta to do that, but I think it is an option for them, certainly. So, what do you consider?
I'd be excited if he was going to head that way, and of course not necessarily a predictable map choice at the same time, so Dorado is certainly something that C9 Kongdoo will certainly be ready for.
I think that Dorado is a pretty bad map for Genji right now, so that's something that Cloud9 Kongdoo has been pretty permanently putting in their wheelhouse. The Rascal Genji has been a staple of the comps they're running right now. And I do feel like if you go to Dorado, you minimize what Genji can do. If you go to Route 66, you give opportunities to the Genji. If you go to Gibraltar, you do as well. So I'm leaning towards Dorado. It's the most commonly picked map. It's the safest one. And then don't forget, during this tactical pause, they're also going to be talking about where they potentially want to go for the fifth and final map. Yeah. King's Row, seems to be the obvious one. We've already been to Numbani. But they might have some snipe picks here. We'll have to wait and see as those maps unfold what Lunatic wants to do. Because last time they tag paused, they had perfect counters for the obvious picks that MY was going to run on those maps. And I think this is a similar situation where Always Zoob is just trying to predict what Cloud9 will try to run on their map picks that we have coming up.
Yeah. Also, Hollywood could be an option if we're talking about hybrid maps as well. I mean, Lunatic have always been a fantastic Hollywood team, coming up with really exciting strategies in the Lunatic heyday, when they were proving themselves as the best team in the world.
Triple support and all that too, something we used to see. I don't think we'll ever see that, at least not in this best of 5, but it's a map they've always been comfortable on, and that's a very good point you bring up. Strong map for Miro and Jaehong. And with Fleta, I mean, I think that they have, the opportunity to run Genji there themselves if they want to. Looks like it's time to find out what map we're headed to.
So, Dorado seems to be the obvious choice here for Lunatic, and it is going to be exactly that. So once again, we're going to be seeing Dorado. Have we seen Dorado every single time today? I think we have.
Yes. Well, except in the first series where we just didn't have it.
All right, yeah. so every single time today means This is the second time.
That's
Got
right.
it.
But you're
Got
still
it.
absolutely technically correct. so.
Absolutely, technically, uselessly correct.
I would have told you if you were wrong, but you weren't. So, let's see how this one pans out. I think that you certainly can try to run the Genji here, and it has worked before.
And I feel like that's better than running something like the Phalanx comp that Lunatic tore apart last time we saw it.
Well, I guess we'll break this down more as we get into games. We're about to jump into it. There's a lot of possibilities for what Cloud9 might try to do here.
Yeah, also a lot of possibilities for Lunatic as well as they adapt to what Cloud9 Kongdoo are doing. Is this the start of the reverse sweep, or is this the end for Cloud9 Kongdoo? We'll have to find out as we head to Dorado. That one Kongdoo fan who's extraordinarily excited for this particular matchup.
Well, let's talk about compositions as Toby's just showing us some Super Mario 64 wall kicks here. You know, this is attack for Cloud9 Kongdoo. They could try to run Rascal's Genji because that's what's been comfortable for them tonight. But they could also try to run Pharah. You know, Rascal's quite good on the Pharah. It's a big question as to what he'll be running here. Fled has already shown to us the Soldier that he's going to be opening, so that can give him safety against Pharah. This Widow, we'll see if it's real or just scouting here. Does give the fan kiss. Let's see if he wants to stick with it. Looks like it.
Yeah,
Let's see what he can get done.
for a bit. Yeah.
A risky pick, but it has worked out in the past.
Oops. Oh, that was a whoopsie. I'd probably go for a hero switch.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Get me out of here, boys.
All right, we'll be the Genji. So many high grounds that's tough to Genji to get on top of with long-range hit scan to help counter it. It's very difficult to build a Dragon Blade too.
Birdring is going to find his way through the back, and Fisher's going to be able to get Jaehong. Really good coordination between Birdring and Fisher all series long, to be perfectly honest. Well, at least for the last two maps. Munchkin gets rid of Bedosian as it just does feel like Zenyatta does not have a great time against the sort of Winston combination plus the Tracer.
Yeah, any sort of hard dive like that with a hero that has such a low health pool is not going to have a good time. That was really well coordinated, and also I think part of the success of it was they faked the Widowmaker. They faked the Widowmaker, then had the surprise dive there with Birdring. They didn't know it was coming. It was really good coordination from Cloud9 Kongdoo. We're going to get an insanely fast time here on point A.
Yeah, Birdring just getting so much damage down. Pulse Bomb flies forward. He just wants to charge a second one with how well he's been doing. Zumba loses his mech, but can Lunatic actually make their way back in? Miro running down very, very low. Transcendence is going to get him back up as we have Jaehong jumping his way forward. No completion on point A just yet, but Rascal's going to say it's happening pretty soon, and they do unlock the doors.
Unlocking the doors with 5 minutes plus to work with. This is really a good time for Cloud9 Kongdoo fans. Couldn't have been easier than that. They walk away with a Dragon Blade, 2 tank ultimates nearly ready, and both support ultimates to empower the Dragon Blade. If they can hold on to these or use very few on their approach to point B, they're going to be in a great position to continue that fantastic time bank. They're coming up here. Rascal's trying to use this high ground to get a drop down with the Dragon Blade. Here it comes. Sound barrier to answer.
Yeah, really good sound barrier, though, is going to prevent him from getting any of the kills, but Ocean throws in his Transcendence now as well to keep them in this fight. You can see Lunatic on the defense actually not utilizing too many ultimates. Self-destruct flies forward, but we've got Tac Visor, we've got Primal Rage now, just used. And Munchkin holding onto that Pulse Bomb to try and find his way into the back line. Cloud9 Kongdoo still pushing this one forward, but it's now Lunatic able to send some regards of their own They take down Cloud9 Kongdoo and get themselves into a good defensible position.
This was really well done by Lunatic. The sound barrier was perfect from Toby. The Dragon Blade with ultimates supporting it didn't get any kills. They used less ultimates, and now Cloud9 Kongdoo has to build all those ults up again. They didn't even get really more than halfway towards point B, so Lunatic is going to smile about how much time this particular sound barrier allowed them to burn.
Yeah, Miro still playing really far up as Munchkin jumps through the backside, looking for Threadoshan as per usual. Now trying to find him. Okay, Pulse Bomb flies forward, but doesn't actually get anyone. Doesn't seem to matter though, as Lunatic is still able to get the kills. Fisher once again diving a little bit too far forward as Zumba gets rid of the mech. And Void will either need to sacrifice his self-destruct or try and find a way to kill himself, and eventually it's Zumba that does that one for him.
So Fleta does have this Dragon Blade available in an awkward spot though, does use his Biotic Field, fights back to the health pack here, helping get the kill onto Rascal. Munchkin, I think, is going to secure this. He has the recall advantage.
Yep, gets his way out.
Oh, I think this is one for Rascal, or sorry, for Munchkin. God, I say every DPS besides the right one.
But I mean, they're really, really, really far away from this payload. As Zumba says, team, whereabouts are you, guys? Miro going to jump forward, does have the Primal Rage now as well, and with Birdring out of the fight, Lunatic still able to hold on. Even though everyone sort of sacrificed this particular area, Rascal now looking for what he can do. Toby, the first one to fall down. Jayhong going to fall afterwards as the dash comes in, and Miro is going to suffer the wrath of this Metal Ninja.
Yeah, really good kill onto Toby before he could use the sound barrier to repeat his defense of the Dragon Blade. Zumba gets taken out, and this will be a slower than we expected, but will be a capture of point B here to extend this time. So fantastic now for Cloud9 Kongdoo with a strong start here. They're going to use that sound barrier to try to
Wow,
delay
they
this.
actually held on to this one. Yep, double sound barriers actually coming out on both sides, and Kongdoo are the ones that lose too. Void grabs the double kill though. Self-destruct coming in. We've learnt to expect this from him. As Cloud9 Kongdoo do need to run Fisher out of this battle. Lunatic still certainly in it despite really good kills coming down. And Void onslaught continuing, but Ocean gets rid of his opposite number. Munchkin doing what he can, but it's a pulse bomb that rids them of Miro.
So they bought 30 seconds with this. The question is, was the use of almost every ultimate worth it? We're going to find out in a moment because they sound barriered, they transcendenced, and they even dropped, like, I think 2 pulse bombs in the course of that longer fight there. But those support ultimates no longer available to empower Fleta, who's going to make the switch over now to the Doomfist. A very powerful moment for Doomfist. Rascal will probably consider the switch after his Dragon Blade. But Cloud9 Kongdoo with an ult lead here, looking for completion. Those support ultimates sorely missed right now for Lunatic.
Oh, good Transcendence timing does save the life of Ocean, but did they actually want to use it at that time? Looks like yes, as Void's able to take down Fleta. Jayhong follows through as well. This Dorado looking all about Cloud9 Kongdoo right here. This attack run has been stunning, just shows the power of momentum when it comes to Overwatch is just insane. Once again, Rascal proving that notion correct as we're rounding the corner.
Ult advantage still. Fleta not holding on to any sort of Meteor Strike. Birdring looking for a back pick here onto Zumba. He's not actually going to get the D-Mech there. It doesn't look like he gets into the spawn room. Holding onto those ults so they have Primal Rage.
And
Hero's missing.
Yeah, just says that I'm the best melee hero, buddy. You get the heck out of here. Self-destruct flying forward does take down Rascal. Felt like he had absolutely nowhere to go there. There's Lunatic going to invest at least the Primal Rage. No, actually, was that Fisher running forward? Not entirely sure. Someone yelled real loud. And now we've got Jayhong sitting on top of this payload.
Oh,
Transcendence in.
They killed Bedosian before he got the Transcendence. That is huge. That may actually guarantee them this defense. That was such a clutch move.
Yeah, and Quartermain gets discorded and removed from the fight at the same time. So really nicely done, Lunatic holding on. But look at this completion level. A minute and a half on the clock, but Cloud9 Kongdoo, if they can get this cart all the way up in this power station, that is really good news.
In the longer fight, we will have Toby with the sound barrier. Could be matched by the Transcendence. The real advantages here come in terms of Meteor Strike, which can be used for a last-minute contest, and also Miro, who's soon to have that Primal Rage you were just talking about. Fleta needs to survive long enough to get that Meteor Strike, though. 94% Sound Barrier will give him that. He's going to have the opportunity to use it.
Stunning. So he's going to try and Seismic Slam his way forward. We'll see whether that Meteor Strike does come out, and it does. He's right on top of this payload. Works for zoning at the same time, but Fleta is going to be taken out. Birdering just says goodnight to him, but Munchkin doing the same thing to the rest of Cloud9 Kongdoo. It's this like scattered attention coming out of Lunatic that's really, really nice.
It's the attention to detail from Toby, knowing when to Sound Barrier, when to use it to make sure that Fleta can get that Meteor Strike, for example. He's actually going to make the switch to Ana here to help deal with Rascal. Looking for a Sleep Dart here against this Dragon Blade. They know both support ultimates were used. They know Rascal can be focused down when the Dragon Blade comes out. He's not going to have those supports. Birdring swinging around. Not going to be able to find that pick. Does get Jaehyung here, but it's a trade. Here comes that Dragon Blade. Can they focus him down? That's the question.
Yeah, but there's no way to put him to sleep here as Fleta's just going to be cut down. Self-Destruct's actually going to be able to grab Zumba here at the same time as they're looking to try and get this one all the way up. Transcendence is going to come out from Jaehyung when the Sound Barrier did wear off, which it certainly did. Actually, no, he just made the switch. He was on the Ana. I'm insane. As now the Transcendence comes in there, holding off on this point. They don't want the completion as now overtime beginning to tick. But Ocean on the Soldier gets the Helix Rocket kill onto Fleta, who just hasn't been inspiring on this Doomfist towards the end of Dorado.
Okay, there's a pick here. Jaehyung did so much work with that Transcendence. They have the faster respawns here. Speaking of which, Miro's back. No stick here. This might be the end. It is, in fact. Great support ultimate usage here on the side of Lunatic High. We saw the Sound Barrier, which bought time for the Meteor Strike. For some reason that always eludes me in terms of ult names.
Yep.
The Meteor Strike to keep Fleta alive, to shut down that first push for Cloud9 Kongdoo. They couldn't sleep the Genji, but they killed him in that fight. And then, when it was an even fight, the moment where Cloud9 could have maybe turned the momentum there, Jaehyung's got the Transcendence, the staggered support ultimates that bought time for Miro to come back. And every time Cloud9 lost a member, it took twice as long for them to come back as it did for Lunatic High. That's why we saw with Ocean on the Soldier. He wasn't thinking that was like a sick comp switch. He just needed the run back that would allow him to have the DPS, but also to return back to the point. And so
Zenyatta was never making it there in time.
This is not the end of the road for Cloud9 Kongdoo. They pushed it very, very far. We very rarely in Korea see completion of this map. So this still certainly is anyone's game to take. The choice of this map with Rascal's Genji, though, I feel like it did pay dividends to Cloud9 Kongdoo. I was worried about it, but my fears were allayed after that game.
Well, I do very much like what Lunatic have put together here on the attack. The Orisa certainly one of those staple picks.
Yeah, the Orisa, Zarya, Winston, Diva, Sombra, Junkrat comp.
Yeah, it's the quad tank double DPS, relying on health packs for sustain.
Yeah, it's called the junk comp. It's Junkrat and a bunch of other junk.
Yeah, it's actually just a junk comp, I'm pretty sure.
Well, Quartermain's trying to do some wall kicks of his own here. On the rollerblades.
Yeah, looking pretty good.
I wish I could just listen to music and go faster. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. If this is something they're going to commit to, this is exactly the composition that they used on attack versus
MY, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Miraculous Youngster.
To try to get behind the triple tank. A bit of a different comp here we're seeing from Cloud9 Kongdoo, though it's the McCree Tracer. Another comp MY did run themselves.
But respect positioning here is going to be different. One thing I do like is the fact that now we've got Fleta on his staple pick, and Munchkin, the hit scan god himself, is going to be heading over to this Widowmaker this time. Oh, very close to grabbing that headshot on the Doshin.
Yeah, and we talked about this would be why Lunatic High wanted to pick this map if they did. This is one of the reasons, and also the lack of strength of Genji, those two together. And Munchkin's doing a ton of damage. No picks, but it is zoning everybody back, so this card is about to get through that archway.
No picks, but a lot of respect, exactly right. Boyd's going to get rid of Miro, though, who may have dived a little bit too far forward, and Rascal's going to continue this one along. Dangerous times here for Lunatic High on the attack, as Fleta's going to fall, so... Cloud9 Kongdoo keeping them at bay here under the archway.
So a solid shove here. Birding will escape death before he has a recall. Let's get back there. Just going to try to do some extra DPS. Could drop the pulse. Oh, that angle!
Yeah, Munchkin's actually going to be able to say goodnight. Rascal, no dice on the Deadeye. you probably don't want to go long range against a Widowmaker there, buddy, and he's going to move the heck out of the way.
The thing is, when you want to kill the Pharah, you have to expose yourself to the Widow as the McCree. It's so frustrating because it's kind of a catch-22. You have to kill the Pharah, but if you get out, then Widow will kill you.
Yep, that Rocket Barrage probably worth it, grabbing a 2-for-1 theoretically. And the triple res comes in from Jaehong. They planned that one, most definitely. Now Fisher's struggling. Now man advantage here for Lunatic High. It's looking relatively similar to how quickly Cloud9 Kongdoo were able to get this one done. Maybe not as convincing, but certainly with a clutch res like that, it looks great.
Okay, Birdring does get taken out here.
Almost as an afterthought there by Fleta.
Fisher not going to last too much longer. This looks like finally Lunatic High will force their way through here. Fleta's Pharah, a force to be reckoned with, and we can now finally see what it can do. Oh, look at this concussive! It's actually maybe going to pick up another kill here. Not quite, but we can see what it can do when he has supports with him.
Tracking was pretty nice, but not able to actually get any of the kills here as Fisher. A couple of headshots, has to use the barrier.
What do you even do against this? You have to regroup, but while you do, you give so much meterage to the side of Lunatic High.
Yep, we're on the fast track here for the payload. Fleta has the Rocket Barrage once again, or just the Barrage. I just like to add Rocket to the start of it. Fleta just knocks them all off the edge, and Rascal gonna be pretty pissed off about that one. Zumba finishes it off.
Perfect prediction of where he would go to. Transcendence here, but nothing really to be healed.
Oh, self-destruct, that's just gonna be the end of Fleta. Double res comes in. You saw him starting to move, and then Jaehong's like, don't worry, buddy, I got your back. This Fisher's going to get rid of Fleta there as well. Zumba right up here on the high ground just says goodbye to Fisher.
Okay, this is going to be a potential self-destruct. Jaehong gets killed here by Fisher's mid-air primal rage. We're saying they want to hold the destruct for now so that they can use it for contest as Munchkin gets control of the high ground.
And gets a double headshot in here at the same time. Waits for him to get out of the barrier. Goes down to 18 health, but he's still alive. And look at all the kills coming in for Lunatic High. This is domination in the street space.
Oh, it certainly is. And because he had the infrared up, he knew where everyone was positioned, knew his retreat path. And they hold the self-destruct. They can use that as, and also potentially a primal rage to secure this capture. So many tools for them. Rascal not going to be able to get in position for that Deadeye. He's trying, but Munchkin's got his number.
And this reposition from Munchkin grabs a few shots, repositions again, can see exactly where they are, and Deadeye, see you later, buddy. You don't want to slow yourself down when there's this guy here.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He knew a mile away.
Yeah, he's like, I got a twinkle in my, that's a bullet.
Yeah, that's a bullet in his eye, man. Those stars were actually shrapnel. Fisher's going to get pushed away here. This is starting to snowball. Cloud9 Kongdoo needs to get it together here. Need to get the comms a little bit smoother as they're taking a few risks here. Rascal's going to switch now back to the Genji as Munchkin is just going to keep everybody back. Free meterage on the side of Lunatic High. They have 3.5 minutes, not even to get completion, but to get 80 meters shy.
Munchkin now just looking for a couple of picks. Throws out the visor just because we know that he wants to get some sort of switch happening. Fleta's going to be manning the Tracer as he's moved on over. Pharah not exactly going to be able to get much work done here inside, but sound barrier for Cloud9 Kongdoo. They're going to lose Badoshan though as Zumba able to lock down that kill. Starting with a man disadvantage is a disaster as they lose the mech as well. Rascal's down. This is not working out. Fleta showing that his Tracer still got his eye in. Absolutely no worries. Doesn't matter who's on it.
Munchkin
they're still getting the work done.
Just has so much protection from his tanks here. No one can get on top of him. He's always got the high ground. Zuma gets another pick here. This is falling apart fast now for Cloud9 Kongdoo. Support ultimate, one of them used here. Rascal still doesn't have the Dragon Blade. Won't have a Transcendence to pair with it when he does finish it. If he can even survive. Boyd's Team Egg. This feels like the beginning of the end. They've got this self-destruct. Who can get back here?
Birdring's actually going to dash his way over, but that's the only option.
Taken out by Jaehong!
Jaehong, the Clutch Master himself, throws the orb right into the face of the Ninja, and that could honestly be that, as they're looking to just try and clean this one up. Primal Rage not there for Fisher, but it is very close for Miro. They'll have the ultimates that they need. Self-destruct comes down. We got a bit of a boot on Devoid as well, just in celebratory fashion. They'll park it, and Lunatic High, the 3-1 in the grand final of SuperMatch.
They are going to be your SuperMatch champions, the first champions of OGN SuperMatch for Overwatch. They brought in 3 new players tonight, Zephyr, Munchkin, and Fleta, and the DPS players that were never stars on their old teams, never empowered by supports finally filled the hole for this team that's sorely been missing star DPS players. It just feels like fate. The team that needed the DPSs and the DPSs that needed a star team. It all came together tonight, and Cloud9 Kongdoo is taken out. Lunatic defeated a Chinese team as well in a different meta. We're able to flex on the fly to counter the comp. And again, Always Zoom shows himself to be a fantastic coach of Overwatch. And his team, the fan favorites, they give a great send-off before Overwatch League.
I was going to say, this is a beautiful homage to what Lunatic was in almost all iterations. If we go back to the first 2 games against the Miraculous Youngsters, it was the problematic Lunatic that was stuck on this Tracer Genji. Then they move over, and this is the innovation that we expect from this team. And going into Overwatch League, if you were an Overwatch League player, you would be shaking in your boots looking at the level of play coming out from Lunatic High.
This team has also always been willing to change their roster, willing to adapt. They pulled Zumba into the team. We saw Who Are You? Then it was Guido, who became a star, became an MVP. Who Are You an MVP? Guido an MVP. Now they've got Munchkin and Fleta on the roster. They brought in Zephyr. This team still feels like the core of Lunatic High. They just get one level higher each and every time, and even though they don't go to the Apex Finals, they don't even make semis, they close this season out with fantastic fashion.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant, but that is going to be it from us. We're going to throw it over to Joel. He is going to take care of you as he translates some interviews.